Hey YouTube, this video is gonna be a late invade video, so it's gonna be very short, but basically I wanna explain how you wanna late invade in Season 12 and how late invading works. So as you can see, I've spam pinged that I wanna go right here. So I'm playing Graves into Echo, and we're playing in Master Tier Elo on E West. And we're basically just gonna walk up towards his red buff. So typically what will happen is whenever people are playing jungle is that they will put a ward either defensively or aggressive. So for Echo, he most likely either will be standing here just to cover in case that we walk in, or he will be placing a ward right here. It's very common for junglers to do, and there are two different approaches you can do. So when I press tab, you'll see that I have a sweeper. And the reason why I have sweeper level 1 is because that if they put a ward down here, then we can clear it level 1. And what that will do is that if my laners are helping me clear that ward, they will get experience for killing the ward, and then they will get level 2 of 6 minions, so of the first wave, rather than 7. And that can be a pretty good, a pretty nice lead for your laner. But otherwise, it's also just making sure that the enemy team doesn't have vision on me for whenever that I'm invading. So if you're playing a champion that can't really jump, which most champions will not take their dash ability level 1, but Graves is an exception, then you'll go this way, right here. But since I'm playing Graves, I can actually jump over the wall, so that's what I'm gonna do. And I'm gonna jump right here, and then I'm gonna walk in here. So basically what I'm pinging is that I want to stand here in the pit, and I want to jump over the wall and late invade him. But my team doesn't quite understand it, because we are invading as 4 people, which is a bit weird. Either we would invade as 5 to try and get first blood, or we would late invade to try and steal enemy buff or get first blood that way. But we are only 4 people because Brand is not here, but I don't blame him, because actually I only wanted my top laner and my mid laner to be in this situation, because that's all I need for this late invade to work. So let's keep on playing the game here. So Echo ends up spotting us, and then you'll see Gwen is dashing over, and I'm like, okay, so if Gwen dashes, I'll do the same. I realize, oh, I can't really get any damage off an Echo because he's too far away, because I was too slow on my E. And this basically becomes a little bit awkward. Then, because we cleared the ward right here, now they don't know that we're still in the topside area. So then I actually want to move into the next bush right here, because there's a chance that the enemy Echo or Fiora or Ryze will go in here to try and walk in. Maybe potentially afterwards go ahead and check the red buff. So the next spot I want to go in, because we got spotted, is right here. I want to stay in this bush. If we didn't get spotted, then obviously the bushes that you would be staying is you would be staying in here or up here. But because we got spotted and I removed the ward and made sure that there's no vision in this bush, I want to trap in this bush. But my team doesn't follow up on it. Fiora ends up face checking it, so this could potentially have been at least another flash that we burn from the enemy, or potentially could have been first blood, but it's fine. I do a small trade on her, I win the trade, and then I back off. Now again, we know that the enemy team doesn't have vision on us because I basically swept this entire area, so we're basically safe. So now you'll see that because my laner now put the ward on red, this was really nice actually, I didn't expect him to do it, but it's pretty nice in this situation. Then we will stand here where they don't have vision yet, and we just wait for them to start on the red buff. And typically you will start walking like this at 129. You can extend it to like 130, 131, 132, however long you want to do. Typically I like to do it at 129, because then red buff is just about to spawn, and if they stand here in the bush, then they will start leaving the bush to start attacking the red buff that will spawn here. But you can invade like in this time frame. So now we will see in just a sec. Echo is here, he presses W. Fiora is there, she leaves us to the bush, and then we go 131, 132. Now the misplay that we're doing here is that Echo is using the red trinket because he recalled after putting the yellow trinket down here. And he got red trinket. So the issue is that we're actually walking into this bush, and the red trinket actually detects us. So the enemy team actually knows that we're coming because of the red trinket. We should actually have waited a little bit, waited out the red trinket out, and then we should have went in. because then the enemy team would have been lower HP and they would have used their abilities on the red buff while me and Gwen would have our abilities up. But yeah, it doesn't really matter because we're just gonna go all in here. Gwen presses ignite. We burn the Echo Flash. I'll basically follow after him. Sadly, Fiora kinda blocks some autos, but then she stops. We kill the Echo, and then he dies. So that's basically the late invade. So, obviously after this, then what you want to do is you want to take the red buff, and then you want to walk down to the raptors, and then you will take 5 out of the 6 raptors, leaving one of the small ones up. And then what you typically want to do afterwards is that you actually want to walk from raptors down to your raptors and your red. And the reason why is because that the enemy jungler will most likely either do his blue and his grump, maybe even also his wolves, and then go invade your bot side because he knows that, oh, my top side got invaded. Or he will try and run straight into your red while you're doing his red. Obviously he will be delayed because either he has to recall or he gets zoned off his own red and has to path that entire way, or he died or whatever. But in this situation, I basically get TP'd on. I'm like, okay, whatever, we shouldn't overstay here, we already got first blood, and it doesn't matter. So, yeah, that's basically what ended up happening. If Fiora didn't TP, I would have taken the red buff, 5 out of 6 raptors, ran down here, secured my own raptors, tried to secure my own red, making sure that Echo can't take my bot side jungle camps, and then I'll be really far ahead. So, yeah, that's basically the video. Typically, you late invade on red buff. I rarely see people invading on blue buff. I would say that if you're playing, so we're playing blue side this game, I would never invade blue buff on reds, or when I'm playing blue side, I wouldn't invade this red buff right here. Because enemy bot lane can rotate and enemy mid can rotate, and it's 4 people that can collapse, so there could be mid laner going here, bot laner going here, jungler coming from here. You could basically get collapsed on, and it doesn't feel as good. If you're playing red side though, you can potentially late invade blue buff. I have seen people do it. Also done it myself a couple of times, but most commonly people will late invade the red buff. But in some situations you can also late invade blue. It also depends obviously on the team comp that you have. Obviously you want to make sure that you have the stronger level 1. Otherwise the late invade is just not going to work in your favor, and you're going to end up dying 1 or 2 people instead of getting first blood yourself. But obviously when I have Gwen and I'm playing Graves and we know that Echo will use W on the red buff, then there's only really Fiora that we have to deal with, which we can easily do 2v1, and we also have Ignite advantage on top lane. So yeah, that's pretty much how you want to late invade in Season 12. And if you enjoyed the video, remember to leave a like. If you want to see more, then subscribe. And if you have any questions regarding this late invade or late invading in general, then leave it in the comment section down below, and I'll see you guys in the next YouTube video. See you guys.